everyone, so we're back in my kitchen today, but I want to talk a little bit more with you guys about reduce, reuse, and recycle. Tomorrow is Earth Day, which is a worldwide celebration and where we recognize the importance of protecting our environment. So with reduce, reuse, and recycle, we looked at recycling yesterday at the Recycling Center, and if you haven't watched that field trip video, definitely go watch it. So for reduce, reuse, and recycle, reduce means you're going to use less of something. So when you're reducing your amount of plastic waste, instead of drinking out of a bunch of these, you could get one of these, and then you can just refill it. And then with this, once you're out of water, you're out of water, and then you got to get rid of the bottle. Hopefully you recycle it, but you still have to use another bottle. With this, you can fill it up. I fill mine up from the sink. A lot of you might have those Brita filters where you put the water in the pitcher. Or we also have one of the water like drink filters in our fridge. So those are more options for not using as many plastic bottles. Another thing we can do for reduce is reducing our amount of water that we use throughout the day. So when I'm brushing my teeth, think about how we brush our teeth. We turn the water on, we get our brush wet, and then we put the toothpaste on, and then we get it wet again, and then we start brushing. If we leave the water on the whole time that we're brushing our teeth, that uses a lot of water that's just kind of wasted because we're not using it right then. So what you can do is after you get your toothbrush wet and you're brushing, you can turn that water off, finish brushing, you can turn it back on to rinse it, and then keep brushing, and then rinse it, and then you're done. That uses less water. And maybe one day you're like, well, that didn't really use that much less water, but think about how much less water it would use if it went on over a year. That'd be a lot less water that's being wasted. Or our electricity, when we have our lights on. I have my lights off right now because it's pretty bright outside. I have my blinds pulled up, if you can see them, and it's letting natural light in, so I don't have to have the lights on. But if I had the lights on, when I'm done with this video and I go to the next room, I can turn the lights off and turn the TV off. Then I'm saving energy because I'm not running this electronics and the electricity when I'm not using it. So that's another way that we can reduce some of our usage of things. Another way is I have these pieces of paper, and these are some that I've used in my activities with you guys so far, and you can see this one's missing a square, this one has chunks cut out of it, this one's missing some, this is a half sheet, and this one I cut a butterfly out of. But I didn't want to throw those pieces of paper away because I can still use those in different pieces. Let's say I need a piece of paper but I only need this much of the orange. Well, I don't want to waste this whole paper just because I cut this circle out. So I can still save the pieces that maybe I cut one edge off of or drew one mark on. I can save them and use them again. Or if I drew on this side, I can flip it over and draw again. And then we're using less paper, we're having less waste. Another thing I guess that was all for my reducing. The next one for reuse means you're going to use it again. So how many of you go to Walmart and get a ton of Walmart bags? We have a bunch. Okay, so if you do, you can save those. We have a stack in our closet where we come home, we unload our groceries, we put them in a bag, we stuff them all into one bag, and then we save them, and then we can use them for other things. So that's another way we can reuse. Or if you don't want to do that, a way you can reduce your amount of plastic bags is get one of the recyclable bags. Let me see if I can find one. Found one. So these are like the recyclable grocery bags. This is just a plastic, not plastic like a Walmart bag, but this is a heavy-duty plastic bag that you can take to the store every time you go and put your groceries in it, and then you're not using as many like Walmart bags. Another way that we can reuse is, how many of you like getting presents? How many of you love Christmas? Okay, me too. What we can do is when we get a bag at a holiday, this one's a Valentine's bag, we don't have to throw it away just because we're done with it. We could save it. We can just fold it like this, and we can keep it somewhere. Same with tissue paper. You can see how this is kind of bunched up. We folded it up, and we put it back down in the bag, and now next time we need a bag or paper, we have some. So when you reduce and you reuse, you not only get to use things again that you're not creating so much waste, but it can also save you money. Because now that we have extra bags and extra tissue paper, we don't have to go buy more anytime we need it. We have some. So that's something we can do too. We can reuse boxes at Christmas. You just fold these edges in like that, and you can stick it down in a bag. It takes up a little bit of space, but it's saving money and it's making us use less waste on the environment, which is awesome. Another thing that we can do is use stuff for crafts. So I've got this paper that I've already showed you, but a lot of my crafts so far have used toilet paper holders or paper towel rolls. So those are things you can use for crafts. You've already got them, and you're repurposing them, or you're using them for a different purpose than what you used them for before, but they're still helping you out. Another thing you can do to reuse is, I have a plastic spoon in my coffee right now, but just because I have the plastic spoon, it doesn't mean I use a new plastic spoon every single day. I stick this one in the sink and I wash it, and then I put it back in the drawer. This way I'm cutting down on my plastic use, but I'm still getting use out of the one plastic spoon I do use. So you don't have to throw your plasticware away every single time. You can wash it a couple times and then reuse it again. And then you can use cans or pots. This is also kind of recycling because you're using it for a different reason. If you have a soup can or a big pot that you had maybe coffee in, you could use it as a flower pot. That's something you could do. Another thing you can do to reuse and not create as much waste is, let's think about our clothes. When we get too big for our clothes and they don't fit anymore, what do we do with them? We should take them, either give them to somebody, we could have a yard sale, or take them to like a thrift store, and then somebody else can get use out of what we can't use. If we're just throwing them away, number one, that's going to cost other people money when they have to go buy it when they could get yours, but that's creating a lot of waste when we could just give it to somebody who could use it. So that's another thing. And then recycle, we talked about yesterday, which I loved going to the recycling center. I really like being able to do my part to help the environment. The recycling center has different bins or different boxes that you can put your recyclable stuff in. So you can recycle plastic, you can recycle cardboard, you can recycle aluminum cans, which are like soda cans. You can recycle aluminum foil, so what you put over your like dinner containers, they can take that. Excuse me. They can take metal cans, so like soup cans. What else? They take paper, they take magazines, they can take shredded paper, so if anybody has a paper shredder and you shred paper, they can take that. They can also take different kinds of plastic, so we had like the water bottle plastic, but they can take plastic like your laundry detergent would come in, or they can take milk jug plastic, and those are all numbered differently. I don't know if you'll be able to see the number on this. I don't even know where the number's at on this. But you see me looking at the bottom. A lot of times on your plastic, if you look at the bottom, which this one doesn't, excuse me, I have the hiccups. This one doesn't have it, there'll be a number. I wonder, I don't think we have any more bottles to look at. But if you're not sure which one to use to recycle, look at the bottom. There should be a triangle, which is like the recycle symbol, and it should have a number in it. If it's a 1, then it's this kind, and it would go in the number 1 bin. If it's a number 2, you might have to look at your recycling center, because mine is sorted into color and no color. So if this is a number 2, which it is, this would go in color because it's white. If it was clear, like a milk jug, it would go in no color. So you might have to look at your recycling center and see how things are labeled or how they're split up. The other one is, I guess it was this with color. But if you look at the bottom, it'll tell you. So they take 1 and 2 plastics. So just look at your recycling center and they'll tell you which way they go. But those are all ways that you can do your part to help the environment and make an impact. Bye guys, thanks for watching. Happy Earth Day!